Community Redevelopment Agency Board meeting Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. I'd like to invite several leader fields for invocation and remain standing for pledge.
Father, we just want to thank you. We ask for wisdom for the stuff that's on the agenda tonight with the community redevelopment. So we know that this is a place where we're growing and that there's going to be a lot of development, redevelopment. So just let us look at the needs of the people and the business and what they need and bring in the developers and everything we need from every part of it, from land development to business to housing. And we just thank you that we could do it together with the wisdom that you give us through the council for the city. In Jesus' name, amen. Pledges allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, have roll, please.
Chairman John Eric Hoover.
Here.
Vice Chairman Chris Mayer.
Here.
Member Robert Hubbard.
Here.
Member Lisa Burke.
Here.
Member Christine Sullivan.
Here.
City Attorney Nancy Meyer.
Here.
City Manager Andrew Butterfield.
Here. Thank you. Okay, we have no board minutes, so we're going to move to comments from the general public and open up general comments. Any public comment? I have no signups. Okay, seeing none, bring it back to comments from the city manager. Pastor Mr. Butterfield for his comments.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I was tasked to get the cost of what it would take to do appraisals on properties as we do acquisition attempts. We got 3 back. One was an expensive outlier. The other 2 were $3,000 and $2,700 a piece. So I'll go about issuing some appraisal requests.
What was it? Say that again. I missed that.
Appraisals for
We had
property
2.
acquisition. There's several properties we need to try to acquire for the water plant, and then look at others. It's been requested to look at the Billy Colakitas property. $2,700 and $3,000 for the 2 lowest bids.
Okay.
So
For clarification, how much was the water plant appraisal from?
we asked for several properties from several. We have an agent that's requesting bids, and we got one for over $9,000. One for $3,000 and one for $2,700. Sal can back me up on my math. If my memory fails, but that would be the cost of each appraisal.
For the 3 to do this property?
Yes.
Yeah, for that one. But as far as the water plant property, I don't have that information as far as what that was.
Oh,
You have that from?
I don't have that. I might have misunderstood, but I think they do any of the properties for that fee.
We haven't had an appraisal on the potential water plant site, have we?
They were preparing that for us, but I wasn't in direct conversation with that company. The city manager was, so I don't have that information with me right now. But we have the three quotes for the new piece of property. We have those, but I don't have the water plant information.
So can you clarify new piece of property for me?
The one on the corner of the one across from Nick's Park,
Okay.
the bait shop. There's actually 3 parcels, so those are the ones that'll be appraised.
So it'd be for all 3 parcels, be 2,700
Yes.
or 2,700 per parcel?
From what we've read, it's 27 for all 3, because that's what's listed. The quote is that they had the ID numbers for all 3 parcels, and it was 2,700.
That's interesting. One came back $9,000 and the other went $2,000.
Yeah, one was just very high.
$9,000 is through the roof.
Yeah.
$3,000 is actually high for a appraisal, but since you have 3 pieces of property, $3,000 would be a normal, about $1,000 a piece of property appraisal. They're just going out there and grabbing comps and bringing them in and drawing up.
Right.
Yeah. So I misspoke. Let me get back to you on the water plant property next meeting. Or
That was the waterfront property, right?
No.
No, those are the 3 quotes for the piece of property across from Nick's Park.
The water plant property is the one back here.
Oh, he said, I heard waterfront.
Water plant.
Water plant.
Yeah,
Because I thought that's what you
My
asked. I
apologies.
thought you asked for a water plant.
Yeah.
I don't have that right now.
I mean, the water plant property.
Okay.
I thought it was on. The water plant property is already under contract or not yet?
No.
It's not.
No.
We're still working on that.
Sir.
That it?
Just also, and Derek can speak to this, he tracked along this morning, the county commission met, and they discussed today, Commissioner Mariano pulled it off the agenda for discussion at first, and there was some discussion about updating CRA maps to ensure that properties that aren't really shouldn't really be in the CRA map are there. So we thought we'd do some self-assessing, making sure that we could remove or add properties that's necessary in the coming, so that next year when the same thing comes up at the county, there's no questions. Derek, do you have anything to add to that? Did I state that right?
Just at today's meeting, the county commission, they pulled C2. It was the approval for the TIF transfer for all the CRAs, and they pulled it to discuss. It sounds like they want to do a field trip to the CRAs to see what the Solon blight conditions are. That was the first thing. And the second thing is they will be asking for a more formal presentation to them. Although by law, we are just required to put our annual report online. They may request a presentation, which won't be a big deal. That annual reports usually due by the end of March each year. So that ask may come soon.
Thanks, Derek. And then lastly, you should find sometime this week, we'll email everybody the wayfinding update. We're expecting to see some of the monument ideas for the signage, and we'll get that to you, and then that'll be addressed formally by the board, Derek, at the first of a meeting in January, correct?
Yeah, I think the idea was to provide you probably the next couple of days what we get from them, so you kind of chew on it for a month and give us some feedback, and then hopefully formally adopt or switch up, their examples by the January meeting.
Thanks. That's all I have.
Okay. Okay, next up is board business. Item number 1, L&H General Construction, Olsner Park fence replacement. I'll pass it to Mr. Butterfield for introduction.
Yes, sir. We went out for bid, and that was the best bid that came back for the fence replacement along the east side of the property, and we got that's 3 bids, and that was the best bid. Again, one was wildly higher than the other, almost double the other two, and the other two are very close. We went with the lowest bidder.
And I noticed the 3 different quotes. They all kind of had 3 different flavors of what they were going to put up. Did we not, when we put this out to bid, we did not specific on, we need X number of feet on this side, X number of feet gate, because everybody was a little bit different on what they were going to provide.
So the only variation was whether, depending on the size. So I actually went out with each of them to the site to do a site visit. So we walked the site. We told them what we wanted, which was a fence similar to exactly actually like Waterfront Park. The only difference was the size of the gate. I suggested that we open it up a little bit because there was some damage from vehicles hitting the post, and so some of them did do that. The dimensions were exactly the same, or these should have been when we discussed it with each of the contractors.
I went over there to take a look at kind of what we had. Obviously, $21,000, even at the lowest bid, is a lot of money for what little bit of fence is needed over there. There's, and I guess I have questions. It's probably maybe a legal question too. So along the western side of the park, the residential home has a vinyl fence that pretty much goes all the way down to the waterfront, relatively new. And our fence obviously is right up against that, what we have now. Being a park, because when you put a fence next to a fence, obviously stuff grows up between it and all that. And since it's a vinyl fence, which is, I even question how it was even approved all the way back, because it should have been.
That fence actually is not permitted. When I looked to go see what was going on with that, because I was trying to figure out a survey, I found a survey from 1982 showing that chain link is ours, but that fence was never permitted.
Which makes sense because it's a 6 foot all the way back to the water almost, which is outside.
Right. I talked to the building official, and our fence, because it's open space and it's open, can go 6 foot all the way to the seawall for ours. We also thought that by having another fence there, it might protect the residential fence from accidental bumping by cars, since there is a parking lot there, and it keeps with the aesthetic. We're trying to keep the same aesthetic throughout all the parks, and so who's to say they don't take that vinyl fence down as well? Yeah.
So there was that. So what's that, Chris?
Okay, sure.
And just to clarify, so we're not going to do anything. We've just attached to the concrete wall.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, but right against the end.
Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
I also drove over to the park. I pushed the green button and I drove over to the park. Just to get it straight, Ashley. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, the white fence is up, right? If we're not going to make them take down the white fence, which I'm not trying to force them to take it down, it does block a lot of view of the waterfront there for the park. And so I would think if we're not going to make them take it down, that we don't fence up next to it, because there's nothing worse than putting two fences 12 inches apart from one another. You can't maintain it. You can't get in there, clean it up. Dog get caught up in there, all kinds of crazy stuff. And that's probably, when you start cutting that out of it, and you really only have a little bit of extra fence there, you probably cut that job in half almost for the cost of it. So I would not be okay with spending $21,000 to put black picket fence down both sides of that place. We have the wall on the one side, which is awesome. It's going to be great. You have a beautiful white fence on the other side. And if they ever decide to take it down, then we'll put up our black fence then. But I think we just hold our money until then. And you don't want to double fences up. It's just not a good look. It's kind of it's almost like an inner city kind of ghetto look. You know what I mean? So I would say no to that.
Brent, Nancy, what's your thought on that situation with a residential fence alongside the park and not having something there? Any issues or?
Well, I think Derek hit on. I think the issue could be if you don't have your own fence, like what's being proposed. Which I'm not saying you should or shouldn't do that. If there's damage to their fence from people in your park, they're probably going to be coming to you to repair it.
Well, they'd have to drive up off on the grass, because it's not like it's right on.
It's that far away.
Yeah.
And they'd have to literally have a 70.
I mean, it's
Two
there. It's
Torino
there. You're not
back in.
asking them to put it there. You're not asking them to maintain it for you. It's theirs. They do what they want with it. You may end up, like you said, at some point they take it down. They stop taking care of it. If there's not a permit, that's another conversation. That's up to the building official and what next steps should be taken. But you may, later have to come back and address it if it's not there and it doesn't look the way you want it to.
It's clean. They maintain it. It's not dirty. It's not moldy. It's white.
I think if you put parking curbs in there, well, put parking
You don't
curbs.
have to. There's already a curb there.
There's a curb so they can't pull into the fence.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I think it's a waste of money. Metal fencing's gone up 75% over the past year. That's why it's so expensive. It's just ridiculous. But you only need it on one side. There's no reason for double fencing. Now, if they decide to take down that fence, we can address it at
It's
that
easy
time.
enough to go in there and put up
At that time, right.
Yeah.
But now, no.
For clarification, there isn't a security issue. So their 6-foot fence does end about 30 feet from the water line.
Yep.
And I actually went over and talked to the neighbors. They're having people just jump their small fence and actually found them on their dock. And actually, I was out there. We had people jumping and going the other direction. So we will have to try to figure out
little piece,
something.
yes, we had to do that.
30-foot piece. Probably we'll have to maybe do the 6 foot from the corner of their white fence out to the water to give them security and keep it consistent.
You say add white fence to the water?
Well, if we're keeping consistent with our fence type, we would basically come over with the black, you have the white, and then not sure black or white from there onto the water.
I think they have some kind of black fence there now.
It's a chain link that they have quite a bit of different things on there trying to block, even a dog gate.
it's a
at the
hodgepodge,
end.
but I think there
Yeah.
is actually some black posted type, almost like what we're proposing.
Yeah. If I'm correct, when you get close to the water, you have a 3-foot maximum height on
4
a fence. 4 foot. Okay, so you can't do 6 foot. So we could come off that white fence there with a 4-foot black fence.
Well,
and take
I
it
think
out.
you said
When
we
I
can
talked to
actually.
the building official, it had to do with the use, and it's not a res one. It's an open space. So I think that was the difference. Is that because of that, it's not a res one. We were allowed to go 6 all the way.
Okay.
So we could actually extend that fence, that white fence, to close it in.
I
Close
don't
it.
think we want to do that though. You're
Or we can
blocking
put-
off the view for the people that are going out there to sit in their chairs and look at the water. You're knocking off half the bayou there. So I think you just leave it
Whatever we put in the
the
front,
white.
put it back.
Absolutely. And that way, if we ever have to fill in the gap, we'll just run between the two things and go with it. If you're worried about people jumping the fence behind the neighbor's yard, I find that highly unlikely. So I don't know that we have to go with a 6-foot fence over there. I think you just go with a 4-foot fence on the end to take it out to where the end of the seawall is and just stop it right there. If somebody wants to get in there, They can jump the fence on the front side. They can go right over the fence and go in there. This is just designed to keep dogs out of people's yards and vice versa, you know. But trying to force people to stay out of there, I mean, you could barbed wire and everything. You're still not going to keep people out of there if they really want to get in there. So I think we go back to fish and get some quotes on less fencing for the project.
Procedure wise, do we go out to bid, reject all bids, go out to bid again with a different set of criteria, or?
These are not bids. These are open quotes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So we just call them up and say, here, you're changing the scope. Give us an update.
What's an open quote mean? How's that handled?
Below 25,000.
Which means you just pick up the phone, call them
Yes.
by the phone book,
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, I need you to give me a quote for
Yes.
this job."
Yes.
Is that open to anybody to give you an estimate?
Well, it's
Very
whoever
much.
you call, right? You just it's whoever you reach out to. It's not like a notification, right?
Yeah, there's no specific list.
They just reached out to a few fence companies.
You just reach
You
out.
don't have to prefer vendors
No.
for everything.
No.
In other words,
When I put up fence at my house, I found fencing to be gravely different in pricing, you know, from different companies. And Bob said the fencing went up 75%. You said
At least it depends. Sometimes more. Yeah.
for the aluminum fencing.
Metal buildings, metal fencing. Yes, 100% in some places.
The other question is this outside the scope of what utilities could probably do? You think?
Yes.
And the vinyl's higher than the metal, so they won't be jumping it. I mean, you can put a vinyl fence in there.
No, they're not going to jump that 6-foot vinyl fence. It's too hard to get over.
The metal fence. It's
It's just, I mean, the same metal fence we have down at the waterfront park is the same thing they're going to use over there.
about 5 foot high. Then
Yeah. That's probably 6 foot high. What do you think? At
Might
waterfront?
be.
It's probably
Yeah.
6.
I think it's probably 6, close to it.
And that's what was in these quotes, right? 6 foot high, yeah. Colonial Blackland.
So if we could we go back out for another estimate to include just the part from the white fence around to the gate and then over to the concrete wall, and then at the end of the white fence from there to the water, just that whatever that 25 or 30 feet is that.
And so that 30 feet, clarification, 6 foot or 4 foot?
4 foot.
Okay, so we're doing 6 front around
Yeah.
to the vinyl, skip the vinyl, come back, do 4 to the seawall.
Keep the visual in it. Yeah.
Well, it's open. So does it matter being 4 foot or 6 foot?
It butts up to your neighbor, to our
But
homeowner.
all the rest of this fence is going to be 6 foot. So and think about this: if they take that fence down and we need to fix that, are we going to go to 4 foot?
I'm just thinking when you get close to the water to keep the view in there, you don't need to.
You're seeing through the fence.
because it's
It's a rod iron, it's aluminum, like you can see in our park now, at Waterford
understand.
Park. So
I just
doesn't impact
don't
the
know
view
if
at
you
all.
need to go all that 6 foot when you get close to the water. But whatever you guys want to do with that,
Well, it's already 6 foot. I'm just thinking, and I guess if we're already going to piece it in, if we're looking at potentially someday we may need to come back and make that connection. Do we need to
I'm okay with that, Eric. I'm fine with that.
keep it 6 foot, or then we go to 4 foot? So it's really the future thing. If you think you're going to go to 4 foot for the rest of the way, then
I was just thinking close to the water. It's nice to be less intrusive. It doesn't look like a prison yard. Kind of like, it's not so. Yeah.
So 6 foot.
I mean,
That's why I know that.
I would
I
keep
want to argue with him.
rather,
So whatever.
rather than order little pieces.
Can we open it up both ways, that they give us quotes on 4 and 6, and then we look at it from there?
It's probably going to be the same price for 4 or 6.
Really?
It's really, at the end of the day, those sections are probably the 6 foot's probably cheaper because it's more common. Than
Probably
4.
true. Yeah, it might be actually cheaper.
So we'll just come back to them and omit the
It's a
portion
very-
of the vinyl.
They say
I
how
believe-
big you say that gap was?
30 feet from
3
there
feet.
to the seawall, about 30 feet, yeah. I
3
originally thought the same thing.
I don't think it's 30
It
feet.
says 3 feet water wing. I don't know what that
So
means.
a 3-foot water wing kind of juts out a little bit past the seawall as well, again, for security, so no one's coming up and around. They talked to me quite a bit about security problems.
So you
from
can't
the park.
swing around the end of the pole into the.
Yeah, you have to basically jump the water to get around it. Doesn't go out too far, but yeah, a little bit.
I mean, at that point there, they can come down the whole open yard on the left there, walk across the sand, and come in this way here too. Right? There's a whole open yard next door for sale, no house on it, just wide open all the way.
After a while I was there were some people from the park go there too.
Yeah. See, they say 3 foot water wing.
So same height, 3 foot
3 foot beyond the shore.
Yeah, beyond your seawall, another 3 feet.
Oh, 3 foot
Water
pad, gotcha.
being- Yeah, so you can't just kind of hug around on the seawall. You have to really just get out.
And that's kind of where I'm weirding out a little bit, because when you have 6 feet of aluminum fence hanging 3 feet over the seawall, it looks kind of funny. What are your thoughts, Bob?
I see it a lot.
Do you really? 6
Yeah,
foot?
because people swing around to get on other people's property.
Well, if you swing around on that aluminum fence, it's probably going to fall off and you're going to fall in the water.
Well, yeah, you might. That's a risk you take. But I'd go around my neighbors and I go help him on his dock. He's got a problem over there. If I need to tie his boat off or something, I swing over there and help him out. And he's done the same thing for me. But if you got that situation and you got kids down there and then knock a ball into the guy's property, they're going to find a way to get over and get it.
And you got to remember, this is a public park, and so you're going to have people there. The residents that live right next to that don't want people in the park coming into their yard. So it's
But it's, yeah, I mean, you have maybe 2 feet, something there just so they can't swing around it on low tide. But it's, I don't know, it's not something that's going to happen very often. People want to get over there, they'll find a way to do it anyway. So
I've got one that's probably 12 to 15 inches hanging over it, and you can't easily get around that.
that's a deterrent. That's all you need.
More than what you need. I don't know if you need 3 feet hanging over it.
I don't think you need 3 feet, no.
yeah, I would just say minimum needed to
20 inches.
secure it.
I mean,
18, 20 inches, yeah.
So 6 foot high in that section and go out.
as
20 inches.
little as possible.
As little as possible to keep people from swinging
Or
around.
whatever. I mean,
Give me
whatever
another out.
aesthetically looks good around 20 inches. Yeah, you know.
We'll
How
go
long
Captain
is your
Bob,
arm? That's how
20
long
inches.
it has to be.
We're not being
Your arm,
critical
you're
here,
swinging
just-
around.
Just reasonable.
I just wanted to address the neighbor was complaining people were getting on the dock. So I just wanted to try to address that with them.
Yeah.
Derek, we just figured you need some help building the fence, buddy. That's we all wanted to jump in and help.
All right, so we can table that, I guess, until they come back with a motion table.
Motion to table.
Second.
I got motion second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put a vote on favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. That's all the board business. Next up is old business. Is there any old business to discuss?
Just any, the latest on US 19 grant?
Oh, good. I just sent an email today to the city manager. Give me a second, I can pull that up. The engineer has made the changes for FDOT and has sent those changes back. And they're preparing to hopefully, reissue the permit. If you give me a second, I'll give you the specifics of that.
One thing to think about too on that, because that's one of our appropriations, and we won't be able to start anything if we want to take advantage of that appropriation. So obviously, this is all preliminary stuff, doesn't matter. But once we do this, go out to bid or whatever, we'll have to make a decision. Do we want to move forward with it and lose some of the appropriation money if they approve it? So just keep that in mind. Because you can't say, well, we spent X number of dollars towards that. It doesn't work that way. It's once you get the appropriation for it, then you start to work.
Which is what, like,
We'd have to wait till June or July 1st.
July 1st.
July 1st is
300K. So.
Yeah. So
I
just,
think a lot of people don't want to wait on that.
well, if they're going to save $300,000,
I know, but we've been saying for a year, it's coming.
I agree.
I mean, it's one thing that gets brought up to me all the time.
And we can do that. Just keep in mind that's one of our appropriations, core requests.
So the engineer emailed me is that basically FDOT has commented. They requested additional drainage calculations, a grading plan, and authorization from the city, which they did receive. The engineer has calculated the pre and post pervious areas contributing to the storm system and developed a primary grading plan. They intend to discuss the updated calculations and plans with FDOT and reissue the permit application within the next week. And that's where I am at right now.
And then once you go to bid, it's 30 days.
It is 30 days. Construction's not going to be an issue. It's just getting this permit from FDOT.
Right.
You
So
know, and
realistically,
every time that the engineer brings it back to the table,
Right, they want something
FDOT
else.
creates more comments and wants something
Mhm.
else. They didn't ask for drainage calculation before or a grading plan. Now they're asking for that. So the engineer has gone back and issued those things to them. So now we're basically FDOT reviewing this and providing us with this permit. Once we have the permit, going out to bid is not a problem.
So realistically, just for your knowledge, so the session starts in January, right? And so we'll know if we're going to have that appropriation in the budget for say relatively early in the year, probably before we'd be able to even start the project. Because it's going to take 30, if let's say we get that done, let's say it goes out to bid 1st of January or whatever, it's going to be February before we review those bids. We're kind of going to know if we're going to get the money or not. So we'll definitely know if we're not in there, and then we can move forward with it. But if we're in the mix, it's just waiting on the governor's signature, and it goes through, we'd know that even well before that. It's just we couldn't spend until July 1st, but we know that the money is ours. So we'll have good understanding of where we're at in that appropriation process.
But
To make a
once it's
decision.
appropriated, can you just go ahead and do it and then wait for the money to come?
You can't spend until July 1st.
Well, we also plan, I mean, we planned on using this, using CRA dollars initially.
Yes.
State appropriation was just a way of us not spending the CRA dollars.
Spend
So,
on something else.
so yeah, so this basically helps us both ways. Either one way or the other, we do have the money to go forward with the project. It's just, we wanted to make it a state appropriate project so we can get the, funds from somewhere else.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
It's just something everybody's,
Yeah, no,
a lot of people are waiting on.
I've wanted it done before the end of this year, so it's
Yeah,
just been tied up in this.
This has taken much longer than any of us anticipated, but once again, he has talked to the secretary from FDOT, and the secretary has been back and forth with us. The staff from FDOT has been back and forth. The engineer's has complied. So it's not like someone is holding holding the ball and waiting. The only one basically holding the ball is getting that permit signed off by them.
I know,
And
I'm
the thing
sorry,
is
I always
that when it comes to US 19, they're not going to cut any corners.
I'm sorry, I always ask you, but it's
No,
something that-
no, it's fine. And before I come to this meeting, I get an update from our engineer about what is going on, so I can prepare that because I understand how long this project has been waiting on. And if we were waiting on anything else, I would tell council and the city manager what's going on. But I'm basically at the mercy of getting this permit issued before we can go out to bid. I can't go out to bid without the permit. That's going to be the first thing anyone's going to ask for is for that permit.
It's going to be done next year, whether we pay for it or the state pays for it. So
I know, but like you said, everybody's hoping to be done this year.
Yeah.
So
it's moving.
next time.
Chris,
Can I just back up just one slide?
Yeah.
Can I go back to the fence?
sure.
Okay.
I guess it's technically old business now, right?
It's getting old as we speak. I'm just thinking, I don't know how much of this 21 grand they were charging us is for tearing down the old fence, but our guys have all the stuff to roll in there in a matter of like a couple hours, like pop all that stuff out of the ground, throw it in the truck and take it to the dump. And we don't have to pay somebody to go in there because the guys who install that fence are different from the guys who tear it down. Now they got 2 crews going in there and maybe we're spending a lot more.
That we can do.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
We'll incorporate that.
I think that's a great idea.
We'll take care of that part. We'll
Yeah.
let them know.
And we also took out like the finishing touches of fixing the rock and all that. We told them don't worry about that. So that part's already handled.
Well, when you pop it out of the ground, you pull the concrete with it, you throw it in the back of the truck, right? And you just grade it over a little bit with a little hammer. I'm just, makes sense?
Yes.
I think that'll save us about $5 grand,
Hopefully. I like I said,
177 feet of demo tear down fence. I bet you that's a pretty good price for that. Anyway, I want to save anywhere we can because we're always up here nodding our heads. Yep, let's spend it. Yep, let's do it. And I'm like, well, hold on. Let's just try to spend it wisely. Thank you for letting me back up on that.
Anytime. Any other old business? Okay. Seeing none, I'll go comments from the board. Start with Councilwoman Burke, or Member Burke, sorry.
No, I had my question.
Vice Chair or Mayor.
I'm all fenced out. I'm good.
Member Hubbard.
I'm done for tonight.
Member Sullivan.
I'm done.
I have nothing as well. Look for a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Adjourn. Take